All right. I was talking about exact logistic regression in my previous session, but due to internet connection, uh, the connection was interrupted. So let us consider an example of exact logistic regression. Suppose that we are interested in the factors that influence whether or not high school senior is admitted into a very competitive engineering school. So we need to consider the admission as a dependent variable in a high school of a high school student in an engineering school. So the outcome variable is binary, whether the student get admission or not. The predictor variable of interest includes student gender and whether or not the student took advanced placement. In place of this test, I have considered the GMAT test here. So because the response variable is binary, we need to use a model that handles 0, 1 outcome variable correctly. Also, because of the number of students involved in small, we will need a procedure that can perform the estimation with a small sample size. So this is basically the data that we are going to use. There are the gender variable, 0 and 1, uh, where 0 indicates the male and 1 indicates the female. Then the GMAT score, it is not basically the GMAT score, whether the student have attempt the GMAT score or not. So if the student has attempt the GMAT score, GMAT test, it is indicated by 1, and if he has or if he or she has not attempt the GMAT test, it is indicated by 0. So this is the scenario. Then you can see the admit variable here with 0 and 1. 0 means the student could not get admission, and 1 indicates the student got admission. Then the number of applicants, how many applicants have applied? 7, 1, 3, 7, 5, 1, 0, and 6. So these are basically the variables where admit score where admission with 0 and 1 is the binary variable and also the dependent variable, while the remaining variables like female, GMAT, and number, they are basically the independent variables. So the data for the exact logistic analysis include the number of students admitted, uh, and the total number of applicants broken down by gender, and whether or not they have taken the graduate record examination test. Since the data set is so small, we will read it directly. So this is basically the data set. So we need to consider this data set directly. We can go, we can go directly to the Stata. We can clear the previous data set here, and we need to directly put the data here. You can say we just need to copy this data from here, and we can put it here. Control V. This is not pasting. We can consider it again. Copy this data set and put it here. Control V. It is again not putting here the data set. All right. We can generate the variables name, like what are the variables female, GMAT, admit, and number. So we can directly generate here, female, generate GMAT, admit, and number. GMAT, admit, and number. Okay. It will not be paste because a picture. All right. Uh, we can consider it using another table. We can create a Word file of it. So we can easily paste here. Let me show it here in a Word file so that it can be pasted easily. Let me paste it here. Now we can copy this one and we can paste it here. Yes, now it is accepted. The data set is so small. If you see here, the number of observation are eight, just eight. So it is less in number. So what we need to do next, we need to run the exact logistic. And before running the exact logistic, we need to see some of the basic estimations of your variables. So what kind of variables do we have? This is the tabulation command female GMAT FW is equal to number. So you can see here uh, female indicated by 0, which means male. So there are 8 males who have attempt the GMAT test, and there are 10 females. There are 8 males who have not attempt the GMAT test, and there are 10 males who have attempt the GMAT test, while there are six females who have attempt the GMAT test, and females, six females who have not attempt the test, and females who have attempt the GMAT test. So 0 means who have attempt the GMAT test, and 1 means who have not attempt the GMAT test. Sorry, 1 means who have attempt the GMAT test. So here 0 and 1 means 0 means male and 1 means female. So here you can interpret like this. Then tabulate female admin. All right, let me again consider it. All right. So there are 10 females who could not get admission and 8 females who got admission. Sorry, male. In the same way, 5 female could not got admission and 7 females got admission. So this is how you can consider different commands here, and then GMAT test. So you can also see how many uh, male and females could get the admission based on the GMAT test. So those who could not attempt the GMAT test could not got the admission. There are 12 persons, and 2 are who could not attempt the GMAT test, but they got admission. In the same way, there are 3 people who attempt the GMAT test but could not get the admission, and there are 13 people who attempt the GMAT test but could got the admission. So what we need to do next, then tabulate GMAT admission. We have this command, and we can apply it here like this. So it will give us the admission and GMAT with reference to female. So